Even if you're starting part-time in real estate, you can still close 10 or more deals your first year. And that's not my opinion, that's a fact based on my own experience helping agents starting at 0 deals with part-time hours to put into real estate get to 10 or more deals done their first 12 months in the business, even while working a full-time commitment outside of real estate. And I'll tell you, it's not luck, it's a blueprint. And if I were starting over today with limited hours to put into real estate, here's the exact step-by-step game plan I would implement to get to my first 10 closings. That way I could make the shift full-time into real estate. So the very first step is you want to focus on building your database and making new additions to your database like clockwork every week. Now let's define what a new addition to your database actually means. That's someone's name, phone number, and email who has given you permission to contact them. So that would be a new database addition, and it's likely that it's someone you had a conversation or made a brief connection with, if nothing else, or they opted in to something that you were putting out there into the world to where you could get in contact with them. There's one of two things that you're gonna need to invest in order to make these new additions to your database. You're either gonna invest your dollars or your time. So money or time, money being paid ads, time being active lead generation. And there's a conversion rate on leads that result in closings. So you're gonna need a certain amount of leads to get to a certain amount of closings. But most of the contacts you generate today are not now business. It's important to understand. Most of the new additions to your database are valuable, but not for the dollars that you can extract from them today. And so the number one thing and goal when you make new additions to your database is to stay top of mind with them long term. That's the goal. I know that might sound boring. It's like, no, Tyler, I want to get deals done today. Well, it doesn't matter what you want because most of your database are not going to relate to that. But they might relate to you making deposits time and time again, sharing things that are insightful, helpful, and valuable for them today. That way they think of you when their time comes that they're ready to make a move or that they have questions related to real estate. You want them to think of your name. So the way that we're gonna get that into motion is a weekly email. So we're gonna get a weekly email sent out to your database, 100% value add, meaning you're making consistent deposits into your database without asking them for anything whatsoever in return. The goal is to stay top of mind, that they get to know you, like you, and trust you. And the best way to build trust with a cold contact is to add value through your content and what you share with them. And we're gonna start by doing a weekly email to those people that gave you permission to reach out to them via email. And the second step is that we wanna implement video. Why video? Because it's the number one way you can make the most of your time with part-time hours to put into real estate. Because fact is, if you don't have full-time hours to put into real estate, you've got to have something that's going to be working for you when you're out and about working that other job. Because video is the one thing that can do that. If you record a video one time, that's a video that people can see dozens of times, hundreds of times, thousands of times even. And when you accumulate hours and hours of watch time from a short video that took you 10 minutes to record, what is that worth? You're literally multiplying your time. That's time that you would have otherwise had to spend one-on-one with that prospect. Now that video is serving as an asset working with you, allowing you to get more done in your time because that video is working for you when you're working your other job. So video is not an option if you want to make the most of this opportunity. And so where we're going to start is by showcasing inventory in your local market area and or insights on what's going on in your local market area. And this is how you learn the market for one, but you're also going to position yourself as the local expert in the process. And this is gonna create opportunities time and time again for more people in your target market to find you, to hear from you, to learn from you, to get value from something that you're sharing out into the world. So we wanna get a video going every single week. And if you want, you can batch your content, meaning there's a day of the month that you could go out, knock out several videos, and now you have your content lined up for the whole month because you at least got in the pipeline. Now, the third thing that we're gonna wanna do is we're gonna wanna make a daily post. And so I want you to pick one primary outlet, Instagram or Facebook. Post every single day, once a day, Don't overthink it, don't overcomplicate it. Just share something of value, an insight on the local market, behind the scenes of something that you were working on that day, client stories, testimonials, social proof, anything that you've got to work with is an example of how you helped someone with what and how it led to a certain result. You want to put that out into the world. There's no such thing as too much social proof. In fact, most agents have all these incredible stories and they never see the light of day. I want you to make it a habit that anything you have to share that relates to your target market, to what you're working on, to demonstrating how you help people get results, that you're actually sharing that out into the world for people to see. Put your own personal touch to it. You know, the last thing I want you to be is a generic realtor or whatever you think that means. I want you to get that idea out of your head. What I want you to be is you, the authentic version of you, because that's what's going to relate to people in your target market area. On some level, yes, you should be professional, but you got to understand where the line is between being professional versus like literally washing out yourself, because you don't want to be some generic NPC of a realtor. You want to be the authentic you. So if you're into cars, music, if you got a certain hobby, if you like sports, like however, whatever it is that you're into, that's how you're going to relate to people in your target market. If you try to dance around that, you're not going to relate to anyone. And the last thing you want to be this realtor that's trying to serve everyone, because you're not going to help anyone in the process because no one's going to relate to you. So be your true authentic self and put that spin on things. So it's okay if you post hobbies. Not everything you post has got to be related to real estate, but it should be stuff that's true to you, that's authentic, that relates to people in your target market that you would want to work with. And now I'm going to share an action plan as far as what you can do with these limited hours to implement this game plan I just shared. Because if you do this correctly, it's going to cause you to actually have more time, because these content pieces are going to be working for you in overtime while you're out working your full-time job or whatever you got to take care of. So what you're going to want to do is block 5 to 7 hours a week around your current job. 5 to 7 hours to implement this exact strategy, including your active lead generation, which I'll touch on. The breakdown is this. I'm going to go Monday through, I'm going to cover the whole week here, and you can put a simple step on your calendar each day of the week. Take your pen and paper out, get your calendar out wherever you want to put this on, and put on recurring events to implement this strategy. That's the difference between it working for you and not working at all. The first thing is we're going to add 5 to 10 new contacts to your database every Monday, and we're going to draft your weekly email. So those 5 to 10 new contacts are going to be based on the activities of the week prior. We'll get to that later, but just know you want to account for any new contacts you have, add them to your database on Monday from the week prior, and you're going to draft your weekly email. So that's a Monday, not a lot of time. You might want to commit an hour your first time doing it. Over the course of the weeks to follow, it shouldn't really necessarily take an hour to knock that out. Tuesday is going to be a planning session for your YouTube video. So what you want is a topic and an outline for the topic. If it's a tour of the home, that will be pretty simple and straightforward. If it's more of a informational, educational video about a specific topic, that's going to take a little bit more time. But the great news is you can use ChatGPT to help you. If you feed it some fuel, give it some ideas, tell it what it is you're trying to accomplish, it can help you craft that outline if you would like. So plan your YouTube video. Again, I'd block out an hour. You're probably not going to need the full hour as you just make this part of what you do. But with that hour, you might be able to knock out several content ideas and get it all together. On Wednesday, you're going to record your YouTube video, or if you want to do a batch of videos, knock yourself out. But at least record one video based on the outline that you created on Tuesday. Thursday, I want you to document your wins and lessons learned from the past week, the past few days. And I want you to plan 3 to 5 social media post ideas based on those things. Wins, lessons, something you learned that might be insightful for someone in your target market. I want you to write it down, at least have the idea down to where you could go out and create a post around that idea. And the post can be a picture, it can be a carousel, it could be a reel. It could be anything, but the key is that you have that as part of your game plan, and that you have things from the past week that you can utilize for that content. Friday is to batch create and schedule your posts for the week. So you're gonna take the ideas from Thursday, the 3 to 5 ideas, and create a series of posts. Ideally 1 per day, but I know 3 to 5 doesn't really equate to 1 per day, but the point is, on top of that 3 to 5, you might have something that just happened that day you can utilize. But the point is to build a habit and build up to a point where you're naturally taking bits and pieces and things that happen throughout the week, things from your own experience and journey that you can document, and sharing that in the form of a brief content piece. So Friday, batch create and schedule your post for the week, meaning the week ahead. Go ahead and take those pieces of content you put together and schedule out the post. That way you actually have something posting on a daily basis. Now we're at the weekend. So on the weekend, especially since we're starting part-time, we got to put the time in on the weekend. So you're going to block off your schedule a minimum of 3 to 4 hours. So 3 to 4 hours that you're cold calling, door knocking, or hosting and promoting open houses at a minimum. And I mean, really, if open houses is your strategy, I'd like to see 2 on your schedule for the weekend, but bare minimum, we got to put 3 to 4 hours into those prospecting activities. Or otherwise, another way to think of it is you want to get your 10 new contacts added to your database. So 10 new contacts added to your database from that 3 to 4 hours. If that 3 to 4 hours is yielding 10 new connections for you, then mission accomplished. So think of it like this: if you're doing a successful open house, if it's a new listing, if you're following a proven formula, you should be getting at least 10 new contacts from people that came through the door. And if you're not, I would look at how can we refine that strategy, how can we get more intentional about which houses we're choosing to host open that might be driving more traffic, or at least have that opportunity. And then that's the process. And by the way, honestly, if that 3 to 4 hours, if you're not able to generate at least 10 new contacts, again, let's look at the process and refine, well, how can we get better? How can we make it better to where this time's actually be utilized in a way where we can make enough contacts that we get those 10 new contacts that we're needing? Because we're probably going to need to speak with a few more than 10 people to get those contacts. And if you're speaking with a lot of people, not getting anyone's contact, there's definitely something that we can adjust in the dialogue or approach for sure. Now, if you implement this game plan week by week, by month 3, you're gonna have over 100 people that you've added to your database. You're gonna have 12 plus videos and 90 plus posts, all stacked into a consistent system that compounds to create new conversations and opportunities for you. And that's gonna set you up on a trajectory to go full-time in real estate, as long as you don't take your foot off the gas. So follow this plan for the next 90 days, and you'll prove to yourself that being part-time does not limit you. It just makes you more intentional with what you actually get done with the limited amount of hours you have to put into real estate. So stick with this for a year, and you'll have the foundation set to take you to 10 or more deals, even while balancing another job. And if you'd like to grab the blueprint I have as far as how I've helped agents successfully achieve this milestone, even with some things above and beyond the plan I shared here, go ahead and check out the description below. I'll have some kind of way for you to get that info, or at least get it sent your way. And if you want to connect more with me to get some insights, if you need any additional help with like key aspects of this plan, as far as whether it's the lead generation aspect, or maybe you prefer to put dollars into your business and time. Maybe you have that luxury where the dollars aren't as much of an issue. Well, there's definitely a different approach you can take than just spending hours upon end every weekend. But you either got to invest the time or money, but either way you're going to make an investment. Do not mistake that you're not, because you got to put something in to get the outcome you desire out of this. So I hope that information was helpful for you. If it was, show some love to the channel here. Drop me a comment. Hopefully I'll see you here soon on the next video. But in the meantime, be great, implement the game plan, and I will see you soon. Peace.